tent camp in a canyon, excavating for mine. Dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry, Clementine.
My darling Clementine. We all learned this song as kids and have never forgotten it. But though generations have sung this tune, keeping alive the spirit of the California Gold Rush, no one ever really knew who this Clementine was. Well, in tonight's Tall Tale, you'll get to meet her, and you'll discover why we think her story inspired this legendary American folk song. And the next time you sing it, you'll understand why they call this special lady Darling Clementine.
Levi.
Clementine? Clementine? Clementine! 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 Oh. Clementine. What am I doing? I saw Clementine down by the lake. I did, I swear. She was singing, dancing on the lake. Sir, I saw your daughter.
Son, we're all missing her. I know how tough it is. We're all grieving for her loss.
Look, come over here and sit down. I'll get a little something for your nerves.
But I saw her. I mean, just as sure as I'm sitting here. I mean, she was just as real as she ever was.
Yeah.
Oh, he saw her all right. He saw that golden ghost dancing on the lake. There was something about that girl none of them could ever forget. Something about her that changed their lives. And so this is the story of how Clementine became a legend, and of how her legend became a song. It all happened back in the gold rush of 1849. That's when gold was discovered in California. Rumors were rampant. People were saying gold was everywhere, that the streams were so thick with gold there was hardly any room for the water. Something happened to ordinary men when they heard these golden tales. Leaving their jobs and families, they'd drop everything and head west, no matter if they were in the middle of a shave or getting married. Grooms left their brides and preachers left the cloth. Gold was in their eyes and greed in their hearts. one little nugget could cause a whole lot of trouble. But it was hard to blame them when the mountains sparkle with gold nuggets the size of watermelons.
Look at that! Gold!
Like old hound dogs chasing a rabbit, the smell of gold made men run faster and farther than they ever thought they could. But like most hound dogs discover, the rabbit usually gets away. Most never found gold. Others never gave up. Like Lucky Jake. He added Lucky to his name because he was sure that one day his luck would change and he'd strike more gold than he knew what to do with. Well, that day never came. What Jake didn't know is the real reason he was lucky was because of his daughter, Clementine. She was worth more than all the gold in all the hills of California. Clementine was special. She had her own way of doing things. Now, heaven only knows why Jake had the fortune to be the father of the only woman in the mining camp. You see, miners are superstitious and thought a woman would bring him bad luck. Truth is, those smelly old miners didn't appreciate all that Clementine gave them. That is, except for one miner. One day, romance came into bloom all on account of them bloomers.
How dare you? What's a gentleman like you doing with a woman's personals in his hands?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Clementine. I didn't mean no disrespect.
You're new around here, ain't you?
I arrived yesterday.
Well, how'd you know my name then?
Well, it's just kind of hard not to notice the only lady in a mining camp.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
Here, let me help you out.
Why, thank you.
My pleasure. Bye.
Now, some folks say there's no such thing as love at first sight, but I ain't one of them.
Up near the Bucksnort River, that land's so rich, them gophers have thrown up chunks of gold as they dig their mounds.
Yeah? And they were the size of $half.
$half.
I
I was down by the river and found you some more mulberries for your brew.
Sure was a good idea putting in them mulberries.
Boys just love it.
I heard about a chap up the river named Sylvester. Now, one night, just after midnight, he woke up hearing this soft knocking. It was Tommy Knocker himself.
Tommy Knocker.
Sylvester followed the sound of that knocking, and he struck it right then.
I hear that Sylvester's coming down here.
Sylvester sounds like an interesting fella.
Daddy, have you met Levi?
Sylvester is just lucky. Everywhere he go, he strikes it.
Sylvester sounds more and more interesting all the time.
These are excellent beans, Miss Clementine.
Why, thank you. They're the same ones I make every night.
Tonight, they're exceptionally good.
Well, thank you again.
Yeah, these beans are just the way we make them back home. Huh? Burned.
You're always talking about back home. You must miss it. These herring boxes are only temporary. I ordered myself a pair of real pretty red high-top shoes through the mail order catalog, but...
Gold! What? She's got gold on her feet! The mulberry patch!
It's all right, I got it.
What were you saying, Miss Clementine?
Well, I ordered them 2 years ago, but we don't seem to stay in town long enough for them to reach us.
Oh, it's a big problem. I know exactly what you mean. Can I have some more of your beans, Miss Clementine?
Sure.
You know, one time I ordered some scissors, some needles. Took them almost 6 months to find me.
I just keep imagining my shoes lost between no place really and whatchamacallit, the town we were in last. poor little red shoes, just sitting out there getting dusty. Just waiting for someone to send them on.
Yep. These are the best beans I've ever had, Miss Clementine.
Why, thank you. It is my special recipe. I call them Strike It Rich beans. Because one time after I served them, 3 miners struck it rich. And ever since then, Daddy's been eating beans every day.
Every day?
Every day. And he insists I fix them just the way I did then. Daddy's kind of, well, you know how miners are. Superstitious. Well, one time after finding a gold nugget about the size of a bean, Daddy wouldn't take his socks off. Wouldn't even let me wash them. Well, my, you are a good eater.
Oh, they're so good.
Well, anyway, Daddy just kept on wearing them until they finally just dissolved right there on his feet. Nothing left but a bunch of threads.
You sure take good care of your daddy.
Well, I'm all he's got.
He's a lucky man.
Excuse me. 4 helpings of beans. Now it's plain to see that Clementine and Levi are becoming an explosive couple. But Lucky Jake has his own plans for his only daughter.
Clementine, darling, I think it's time we had us a talk.
Yes, Daddy.
I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I think it's time we got you married off.
Daddy, don't start that again.
Clementine, you're getting older. Men like to take younger girls for wives.
You remember last time when we were living at the last mining camp on the road number 7, and you invited that miner named Henry for dinner, and he couldn't keep his head up, and he fell right in his plate of beans?
He was tired. He struck it big that day.
He was old, Daddy. Died right there at supper.
I always knew we should have asked him for lunch.
Daddy.
What would make me most happy in my later years, darling Clementine, is knowing that you was well cared for. What is most important in getting you a husband is finding a man of sufficient means, preferably one who has struck it and struck it rich. Someone like that fella Sylvester we was talking about at dinner.
The next day, Clementine obliged her daddy and went to meet Sylvester. Hard to believe Lucky Jake would want his grandchildren to look like him. He wasn't just ugly, he was downright ugly. But Clem always tried to look for the good in people.
Mr. Sylvester! Mr. Sylvester! Lucky Jake! How are you? This here's my young daughter, Clementine. As you can see, she's a fine-looking young woman. Got fine, strong bones. Comes from good stock. And she's got herself a mighty fine personality. Say hello to Mr. Sylvester. Clementine.
Hello. Nice meeting you.
Yeah? She's very talented. She's an excellent housekeeper. She can mend and sew anything. She's a good cook. She can cook just about anything. Her apple pie is probably not just the greatest, it's probably the best west of the Rockies. Probably the best in the country. Probably in the whole universe. But she herself don't eat very much.
Well, she tried, but there was no good in Sylvester. He wasn't only ugly, he was mean, and he was greedy. Even greedier than Lucky Jake. Clementine left those two splashing over a nugget and sloshed downstream to someone who appreciated her for more than just her assorted fruit pies.
Hi, Miss Clementine.
Hi.
That was a very pretty tune you were just humming. Is that anything I might know?
Nah, I made it up. Been humming it since I was a kid.
Really?
How's it going today?
Oh, fine, fine.
Any luck?
Oh, no, there's nothing in this stream.
Been mining long?
Well, about 6 months.
Levi,
See, I was on my way to San Francisco to open a tailor shop, and everybody told me I was crazy not to come up here and make my fortune.
a tailor shop. What an interesting line of work.
It's been a dream of mine ever since I was, just a little boy. You know, it's real fascinating to watch somebody make 2 pieces of material into one, just by using tiny little pieces of thread.
I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right.
Didn't I tell you Mr. Sylvester was a nice man, huh?
Yes, quite charming, Daddy.
Yeah, you see?
Hi.
Hello. Levi! You idiot! That was gold!
Really? Where?
Out of my way!
Where? Where?
Whoever told you you could hand for gold? I never saw such a big idiot in all my life.
Oh, Jake, is that what gold looks like in the road?
Oh, you wouldn't know gold if it stood up, shook your hand, and...
She not only knows how to make a good apple pie, she can make a great gooseberry pie and a great mulberry pie.
Well, Lucky Jake could keep right on selling. It didn't matter. Clementine's heart already belonged to Levi.
I'm in.
Oh, I see you finally got your paper, Mr. Yorkshire. It really got here fast. Took less than 3 months.
There's no paper like the London Times.
Well, it must be nice when it's all in one piece.
And the nuggets were the size of a quarter. Huh? And the vein must have been 10 feet long. His donkey was so loaded when he left camp, he could barely walk.
They were as big as my fist.
Well, there's solid gold nuggets the size of grapefruit. His whole claim was solid with him.
Any mending needs to be done today, Mr. Ripple?
Oh, got lots of Clementine.
I mended half those pants last week.
Oh, boys, you're tough on 'em.
I need another round of your brew over here, Ripple.
How's it going today, Sneaky Pete?
Well, been kind of cooped up in here.
Well, how come you're not out there mining?
I think my luck has run out, Clementine.
Why don't you just go back to that ranch of yours in Oklahoma?
It's got all this black stuff coming up out of the ground.
Well, can't you do anything with it?
Useless. It's so sticky, once you got it on you, you can't get it off.
Who's the girl?
Clementine.
Give me the biggest pitcher brew you got. And make it fast! Do it again. I was just returning this to you. It seems you dropped it.
Clementine had no idea what was so funny. This mountain man was just a big bully, rude and mean and hairy. She couldn't determine whether that fur was something he was wearing or something he was growing. And he smelled worse than a bear on a hot summer's day. Now, this was not the company or the air quality Miss Clementine preferred.
You prefer the cross-stitch?
Most of the time. I think it looks best, don't you?
Oh, it looks fine. It's not very strong.
Yeah, I know. I've re-sewed these more times. What is it about miners that they're always ripping their pants?
Oh, that's because this fabric isn't made for a working man. See, these pants are made for somebody sitting behind a desk or for going to church. See, a working man's pants ought to be made out of something strong, you know, and durable, like the stuff tents are made out of. And they ought to be held together with metal rivets, not just thread.
Metal rivets. You've given this a lot of thought, haven't you?
Ever since I was a kid, and I used to scratch my knees on the patches my mom used to sew on my pants, I've always thought that pants ought to be made out of some stronger material.
I never thought of it. You were absolutely right.
You really think so?
I think it's the smartest thing I ever heard in my life.
I've never told anybody this before, but one time I even cut up a tent and sewed together a pair of pants.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you wear them?
Oh, yeah.
And?
They're a little rough. They caused a little chafing.
Sometimes it just gets so hot wearing these bonnets. They keep the sun from giving you a red neck or a burnt nose.
And they're fashionable.
But not practical. Just like long hair. I know men like it and everything, but when you're working out of doors.
I like your hair. I think your hair's different. Unique. I think it caused a whole new rush to the barber shop. Who cut it for you?
I did.
All by yourself?
Oh, wasn't gonna let my daddy do it.
I think it's very pretty.
You do?
You're very pretty, Clementine. Your long hair, short hair, just doesn't make any difference.
Thank you, Levi. No one's ever told me I was pretty before. Thank you.
You must have struck a big one, huh, mountain man?
This ain't nothing.
Huh?
I got nuggets bigger than me. More than you ever seen.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Get my friend here some of your special brew, Ripple. Yeah. Well, it must get kind of lonely living alone up there in them hills, huh? I bet it's been years since you had a home-cooked meal.
He never had a home.
A man needs a woman to make him one. A good woman can make a man a home anywhere he chooses. Even in the mountains. Oh, yeah. Have a drink.
There! Buy yourself some stronger glass, Ripple. This tastes like candy.
See, you cross over right here.
Oh, Levi, Levi, I don't know. That looks a little rickety.
Oh, no, it's all right. Come on.
But I can't swim.
Oh. Don't you worry. I won't let you fall in.
Okay.
Told you it was. Here.
I've been thinking about your dream of going to San Francisco, Levi.
You were?
Yeah. I come up with this. Dreams are made to pursue. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them.
You know, I have another dream.
Another invention?
That you'd be my wife.
Your wife?
You could work in a tailor shop right next to me. We could even put your name on the sign. Levi and Clementine's tailor shop.
Levi.
If you just say yes, my heart would get down out of my throat.
I would be honored to be your wife, Levi.
Oh, Clementine.
But you gotta ask my daddy first.
Oh, I'll ask him tonight.
Well, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why?
Well, Daddy's got his heart and pocket set on me marrying a rich prospector.
Love is what makes people rich, not gold.
I know. Daddy's not exactly crazy about you, Levi.
I know.
In fact, he thinks you're crazy. It's gonna take me a couple of weeks to work on him.
Weeks?
2 weeks is nothing in a lifetime.
Oh.
Besides, it's important that you pursue that dream and go to San Francisco and start looking around and setting things up.
Okay. I'm gonna go to San Francisco. I'm gonna be back here in exactly 2 weeks. I'm gonna ask your daddy for your hand in marriage.
Oh, where are you going?
Pursue my dream.
Now?
I'll be back here in 2 weeks. I'll meet you right here under a full moon.
I'll make you a big celebration dinner.
Beans. Clementine, you have made me a very happy man. 2 weeks.
Bye.
Well, it took Clementine nearly the whole 2 weeks to work up the gumption to talk to her daddy about marrying Levi. Little did she know, Lucky Jake had spent the last 2 weeks arranging a marriage deal of his own. It wasn't that Clementine and her daddy didn't see eye to eye. It was just who they were seeing that was different.
He's been in San Francisco the last couple of weeks pursuing his dream. He's coming back tomorrow and, well, he wants to ask you for my hand in marriage.
Marriage? I'm glad you brought that up, Clementine.
He's a real gentleman, Dad, and very intelligent.
Clementine, darling, you've always been able to find the real good side in folks. That's a real virtue of yours.
Oh, it ain't hard, Daddy. He's a very special man. Do you know he even sews his own clothes?
A big guy like that? I was wondering who sewed them skins together.
He may be new in town, and I realize I haven't known him that long, but, well, I knew the first time I saw him I wanted to marry him.
I think that's the most sensible thing I ever heard you say.
any girl would want to marry him. He's so tall and handsome. And he even likes my short hair.
No one's taller. And I guess you could call him handsome if he fixed himself up.
Oh, I like him just the way he is.
Love sure can twist the mind.
You're the one who's wanted me to get married, Daddy.
All right.
Yeah, and I finally found the man of my dreams.
Well, Clementine, darling, I think you made the perfect choice. We were just talking about you over some brew.
He's back? He's not supposed to be back until tomorrow night.
Well, a lot of men can surprise you, especially when they're in love. In fact, I invited him over for dinner tomorrow night.
Dinner?
Now, you be sure and make a lot. Just be sure and don't use that pretty crystal of your mama's.
Oh, why? We've been saving it for a special occasion.
He's got a lot of mighty peculiar habits. Of course, once he gets married, then I'm sure it'll all be...
Daddy! Oh, I better go start picking some apples for my pie.
Yeah, all right.
It's got to be extra special.
Be sure and make a lot. A lot!
Yes, Daddy.
A lot.
The evening of the prenuptial dinner arrived. Clementine's heart was aflutter. She fixed an extra special dinner, set an extra special table, and bought herself a brand new hat. For her, time couldn't move fast enough.
I want to look real pretty for you, Levi.
In a tent.
Meanwhile, the mules wouldn't move fast enough for Levi.
Excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter, Clementine.
They're the best in the West. Here we are. Clementine. Clementine, darling. This here's our special guest. The mountain man.
I thought you invited Levi.
Levi? Well, that fool don't even know what gold is. Why would I let him marry you?
But Daddy, I want to marry him.
He's a hearty eater and a nice man. You'll see. After he's had a shave and a haircut, he'll look almost normal.
She cooks good.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take her.
Take her? Daddy, what are you talking about?
Oh, Clementine, darling, don't get excited. The mountain man made me a little deal.
A deal? Daddy!
Oh, I'm mountain man. Maybe we should. On second thought,
Now, Lucky Jake was not what you'd call a proud father of the bride. He had made a real bad deal, the worst of his life. And the mountain man, who thought he'd made a great deal, had no idea who or what he was carrying on his shoulders. Clementine wasn't exactly the obedient wife he had bargained for.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling.
Meanwhile,
oh, my darling Clementine, you are lovely and so beautiful, soon to be a wife of mine.
I made a deal with the mountain man.
What?
I'm ashamed to say this, but I gave her hand in marriage for a part of the mountain man's claim.
You did that to Clementine? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I said that. When I saw him carrying her off, I realized what a dreadful mistake I'd made. What'll I do without her?
What'll we do without her?
Yeah, who's gonna talk to us? I told her all about home.
She's the only one who cares about the London Times.
She was giving me a recipe for wonton with beans.
I guess I just took her for granted. I never realized how much she did for all of us. My man's not gonna be an easy man to deal with.
Easy. Why, he'd just as soon kill you as spit on you.
Yeah. We gotta do something. We gotta get her back.
We?
Yeah, you're right. She's my daughter. And I'm the one that made the deal with the mountain man. So it's my responsibility to bring her back.
Come on.
Let's go get her.
I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
I made a deal with your daddy.
Well, then let him sleep in there, because I'm not.
You're my wife. You'll do as I say.
I'm not your wife. We were never married.
I traded part of my claim for you.
I'm not a horse you can't trade for me.
You do as I say and get in there.
I will not. Oh. I won't.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
I won't.
Yes.
It was her apple pie that was the best.
I beg to differ, sir, but her gooseberry pie never tasted better in London.
Well, I've been in every state of the Union. Ain't no better mulberry pie.
Yeah. You're all wrong. It's her beans. She makes the best darn beans in the world.
Well, they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And the men were beginning to realize that it wasn't just Clementine's beans that propelled them up that mountain.
And the shoes were number 9. Pairing boxes without topses, sandals were for Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. I can hardly wait to see you in your new red shoes so fine. Clementine? I'm back. Clementine? Knock, knock. Clementine? You there? Our spot by the mill.
Woman, I'm losing my patience. You get in that cave, or I'm gonna be forced to use physical violence on you.
Don't you touch my daughter. Mountain man, I made a mistake. I'm calling the deal off. I want my daughter back. Look, I'll give you back the 10% of your claim.
Deal's a deal.
Well, I'm taking it back.
Well, I ain't.
Daddy!
I'll get you back. Don't worry, darling.
You ain't getting her back.
Oh, no.
She's mine.
Mountain man. Mountain man. Now listen. Listen. Mountain man, you and me is rational men. I'm sure we can reach some kind of an agreement. I'll tell you what. I will give you 10% of my claim. Okay, 20%. Oh, okay, 50%. Okay, 75%. No, don't you hurt my daughter. You can have all my claim. All of my claim. My daughter's far more important to me than any gold.
You can have my claim too. Just please don't hurt her.
Yeah, here's my claim, too.
Take my claim, too.
Here's mine, too. And mine, too. And mine, too.
Now, don't hurt her. Here's mine.
And mine. And mine. My claim, too. Don't hurt her. Don't hurt her, Mountain Man.
Here's mine. Please let her go.
Well, will you pardon your old daddy for being so stupid? I don't know what was going through my head.
I do, Daddy, but it's all right. I love you.
Hey, this calls for celebration.
Yeah!
So Clem was saved, and the last laugh was on the mountain man. For what the miners never knew was their claims contained nothing but fool's gold. Kind of appropriate, ain't it? Meanwhile, And, meanwhile,
Whoa, darling, sit.
Here you go, Clementine. Fixed up a little something special for you.
Well, thank you. It's good, nice and sweet. Yeah, I think you ought to bottle this stuff, Mr. Ripple.
Come on, hurry if you haven't danced with me yet.
All right, Daddy. You better watch it.
You going to sleep well tonight, Clementine? People always sleep well under a full moon.
Levi. Daddy, I've got to go meet Levi. He's waiting for me down at the old mill.
Okay, darling.
Oh, Daddy, Levi wants to marry me.
Do you love him?
Yes, Daddy, I do.
Well, then go right ahead. I just want you to be happy.
Oh, thank you, Daddy. Thank you.
Hey, Jake, come on!
Clementine felt like the belle of the ball, the toast of the tent camp. She had never felt so loved. Behind her was a room full of miners that had given up everything they had for her. And ahead of her, waiting by the old mill, was Levi, the man of her dreams. Now all that love, plus a couple of cups of Ripple's brew, made Clementine just a mite giddy. Levi was never the same. In fact, none of the miners were. None of them would ever forget Clementine. When they sang her song, they felt the warmth of her spirit. In a few days, they all left camp. Mr. Yorkshire went back to London, where he published a newspaper. Sneaky Pete went back home to Oklahoma, where he discovered that the black bubbly stuff was called oil. Mr. Sumluck went to Los Angeles, opened a restaurant, his specialty, beans. Mr. Ripple went on to a place called the Napa Valley and bottled his brew. Lucky Jake went to San Francisco to help Levi pursue his dream. They succeeded, and most of us still wear them today. Anyway, that's how come we still call them Levi's. In all their hearts, they knew that Clementine changed their lives. She showed them that their dreams were more valuable than any gold, and for that, they'll never forget her. Wherever they sing her song, she is as real as she ever was. The warmth of her spirit will always be in their hearts. And sometimes, real late on a summer's night, folks say they can still see her ghost out there dancing on the lake in her new red shoes. In a tent camp, in a canyon, excavating for a mine. dwelt a miner, 49, and his daughter Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Oh my darling Clementine, Clementine. Oh darling Clementine. Like she was, like a fairy, and her shoes were number 9. Though in life I used to hug her, now she's dead, I draw the line. Oh, my darling Clementine, Clementine. Oh, my darling Clementine, Clementine. Oh,